This is Jonathan Agoff here for Pro Boxing Fans. Delighted to be joined by undefeated heavyweight Jermarcus Polain. For those that don't know, you've been out there sparring in Portugal with Dillian Whyte ahead of this massive rematch with Alexander Povetkin this coming Saturday. How did this opportunity come about, Jermarcus?
Honestly, it was something that came together through my management. I was down in another training camp out in Tampa, Florida, over in America, and I had just got out of the ring from doing some sparring, got a call from my manager, and they gave me the opportunity to come out for a couple weeks to help Dylan get ready. So for me, it was the biggest opportunity of my life, and I said I had to go. So I came.
How have you found it out there in Portugal? What an amazing opportunity to be in a training camp with someone like Dillian Whyte, who's been there at the top level and is one of the biggest fights, if not the biggest fight of his life.
Man, it was a great opportunity. I love the guys here. The energy here is amazing. Me at the level of my career, for me to even be in the same vicinity with a guy like Dylan, top 5 guy, world champion status, it's been nothing but a blessing, man. Nothing short but a blessing. I've learned so much from him, Mastinik or Mateos Mastinik, Eric, and some of the other guys that was there. There's a guy from Albania, Albin. So, I mean, I learned a lot from each of these guys. They have decorated amateur backgrounds. My amateur background is more similar to Dylan's, but I learned so much being around the guys, the coaches, and me being over here in Bellamore, Portugal. It was beautiful, man. It was a great experience.
Yeah, because that's Dillian always said that he didn't have too much amateur experience, but he learned his trade by fighting and sparring the best guys. So that's what you're doing.
And when I tell you, they call him the body snatcher for a reason. Man, it's amazing how much power that this guy generates. He's very strong, and he's growing daily. And just to see him from afar as an up-and-coming kid in the game, to actually being side by side training with him, I've seen such a growth in him in that period alone. But man, he's coming along very good. He's gonna be ready.
How many rounds have you done over the course of the few weeks you've been in Portugal with Dillian?
Kind of hard to say, man. Kind of hard to say. We sparring 3 times a week. I'm getting a couple anywhere from maybe 2 to 3 rounds a time, or sometimes I'm working with them. Other times they got me working with other guys. I really can't count how many times, but I know we've been working for the past 4 to 5 weeks.
What have you learned the most sparring with Dillian and being around his camp and the energy out there?
First and foremost, like I said, the energy is great. The camaraderie is amazing. You know, boxing is a lonely man's sport. Oftentimes you're in the gym by yourself with your trainer or other guys that surround you. So to be around him, very, very, funny guy, man. Easy to get along with, very easy to get along with. Down to earth, always throwing out jokes and stuff. One thing about Dylan, he's a hard worker. That's one thing that I noticed. Never, sometimes you just don't feel like getting up, getting in the gym. But with this guy here, he's at the gym consistently every day that we're scheduled. He's in the gym, he's working, he's doing what he has to do. And when I came over, I was in somewhat decent shape. But seeing how these guys were getting after it, hitting those weights in the morning, coming in, getting the workout in with the boxing, I had to adapt and adjust and be able to move with the current. Otherwise they would have sent me home. So, but great work ethic, man. And some of the things that I learned in the ring from him, me being a smaller heavyweight, I'm 6'4", roughly around 220, give or take. And, I got certain skill sets. I'm pretty good at what I do. But working with bigger guys, just as big as you, if not bigger, strong guys that can really put you on the mat. I learned how to, use my mobility. I learned how to, be stiffer behind my jab, and just, with the things that I got in the bag, got to bring it out, because a guy like Dylan, he gonna bring it out of you. So You know, just watching him hit the mitts, watching him hit that bag, watching him get to sparring in with the other guys as well, I was just able to pick up a more intensified work ethic. You know what I'm saying? And it just been a beauty to watch, man. I'm excited for the fight coming.
For those that haven't watched you yet, what skill sets, what attributes have you brought to the camp, which perhaps mirror what Alexander Povetkin's going to bring? Because we know when guys head into fights of this magnitude, they've got all different kinds of styles coming in, to match their opponent, be better than their opponent, so faster, stronger. What would you say your skills are that you've added to Dillian's camp?
Now my skill sets, according to Povetkin, I would say we're totally two different fighters. But one thing that I know for a fact I bring to the table is the mobility, the speed, and some of the slick, you know what I'm saying, the craftiness. So that could be one thing I can say that probably I brought to the table that was different. You know, I can definitely say that.
Great. And did you watch the first fight? What's your thoughts on the rematch?
The rematch, like I said, is knowing as hard as this guy works. I don't want to, get too ahead or be too cocky or arrogant, but I see my man putting this guy down. You know what I'm saying? I believe in him 100%. I'm confident in what he's gonna do. And this is a game of a puncher's chance. Anybody can do what happened. You know what I'm saying? And we know, of course, he was looking extremely well that night. And in my opinion, was winning the fight up until the shot. So with that being said, I expect the same thing. You know, Dill's gonna come out and look great. And like I said, I definitely see him being victorious on the night of March 27th.
Do you see this by any chance going to points, or do you think there'll be a knockout?
These are the big boys, man. Honestly, I just don't see it. But if we did prepare, Dylan's definitely prepared to go 12 rounds. He's in shape. He can do it. He can do it.
We know one thing about Dillian is that he always gives opportunities to fighters that he's come across, that he sees something in. And, even Eric Pfeiffer, I know, is out there in camp with you guys. He's fighting on the bill. He's been given an opportunity. Have you had any conversations with Dillian about perhaps, sparring again or getting on maybe a matchroom show at some point?
That's not necessarily the nature of our conversation. He's kind of taking me under the wing, more so like a big brother to me. I got questions. I'm still new to the game. I'm still learning the business. So I ask him questions. He come, with open arms. He's giving me the knowledge and understanding that I'm searching and seeking. So, have I come to him specifically and asked him about a fight opportunity or anything like that? No, because I just been more so in tune with just growing and learning and, just focus on that part of the game. Everything else will speak for itself, and I feel as if we built up a pretty good relationship and, you know what I'm saying, the sky's the limit and there's no telling what the future holds.
Well, let's talk a bit more about you rather than Dillian's camp. You're from Atlanta in Georgia. Tell us how you got into boxing and how old are you, by the way?
I'm 28 years old. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. I started boxing out in Athens, Georgia, probably like an hour and 20 minutes away. But I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. I got a football background, American football. Played some college ball. Came home due to financial aid issues. Couldn't go back to school. And me being 19 years old at the time, it was roughly around 2012, 2013 when I started my amateur career. Couple fights in, maybe 2 or 3 fights in. After maybe 2 or 3 months of training, I won the Georgia Golden Gloves at the novice level. Couple weeks after, won the Georgia Game Tournament, and from that point on, I was like, wow, like I can do this. So I just began pursuing that dream as an amateur. I turned pro, and I probably had about maybe 13, 14 amateur fights. You know what I'm saying? It was like 9-4 or something like that. I can't even remember. I got my passbook back home, but I turned pro in 2016, and just working gradually, still growing in the game. Took the right fights, got to a point where I'm 11-0. I have 9 knockouts, and I'm still growing. anything that I did was off of pure athleticism. Now I'm around good coaches, real craftsmen, real teachers of this game. And I have a knack to want to learn. I soak up the game like a sponge. So, this time next year and next year, so on and so forth, I'm going to just improve. I'm going to get better every time. So that's a little bit about me, man. I'm 11-0, 9 knockouts, and I'm just looking to be all I can be in this game for as long as I can do it.
Coming from a football background, were you massively interested in boxing as well? Did you always follow it?
Being from Atlanta, you see guys like Evander Holyfield. I watched his career, you know what I'm saying, as far as the Tyson fights, the Lennox Lewis fights, just the normal stuff. But honestly, if you would have told me back when I was a kid, a teenager, 15, 16 years old, like, Jay, you're going to be boxing one day, I never thought that I would be doing this. Obviously, me being an athlete, I was able to make the transition, and from there, it was just about learning, growing, and understanding the game. But best move I made in my life, man. Boxing has took me all around the world so far. So,
and have you learned anything from anyone else sparring? Have you sparred any other top heavyweights you've learned from?
I've been in some decent camps back home in the States. I was over in a camp with a kid named what's his name? Trevor Bryan. I think he's a WBA intern right now. Yep. I did X amount of loads of sparring with him. I think this was around 2018. You got all sorts of different up and coming amateurs, and right off the top I can't think of the name, but I have had some work with some top guys, but Dillian is probably the biggest name to date for me.
And where do you want to be in, say, the next year's time? Do you want to be fighting for potentially a title or just in big fights? Because there's a lot of heavyweights here you could, I'm sure, fight at some point in the next year. There's loads of them.
I would definitely want to be in a position to take on a good fight like that. Obviously, I'm passionate about the game. The paydays will be extremely worth it, and all the work that I'm putting in, I deserve it. Anybody putting in as much work as I am, they deserve a shot at something like that. So this time next year, or whenever the opportunity presents itself and it's the right moment, I'll be ready, and I'll be looking forward to it. I mean, I'm in this game to do all that I can and be all I can be. I'm not here to play. Can't play boxing, man.
And just the final one, being out there in Portugal with these guys and learning from the likes of Dillian and the other sparring partners, you've also got Harold the Shadow Knight in there, who's worked with Lennox Lewis. How's that experience been? And working with him and Xavier Miller must have been great.
Yeah, Xavier Miller, man, and Coach Shadow. Well, he don't even like to be called Coach. Coach Shadow likes to be called a teacher. You see what I'm saying? He don't even like the word coach. But being around these guys, they have really helped develop me in such a small amount of time. Like I said, I'm a sponge, so I grow and adapt to anything that's being thrown at me. But the little things, you know what I'm saying? The little adjustments, Coach Xavier, he's been on me about it, and I'll make the adjustments. Real good guy, down to earth, and has been able to pull me to the side each and every time and just give me some pointers, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much, because being a coach on his level, at his at the magnitude in which they get their guys going, like, for him to even take notice, for him to even take the time, that means a lot. Shadow, same thing. He's had his own career as a professional, did extremely well. Him being around Lennox, and he's been around the game. So if these guys are taking a liking to me and gravitating to me, I must be doing something right. It's been a pleasure working with these guys, man. It's been a pleasure, real pleasure.
Do you feel like you're heading back a better fighter?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Like I said before, if I wasn't up to nothing, if I wasn't doing anything and looking half decent, they would have sent me home. Like, it's intense here, and when that bell sounds, these guys are fighting. They're not playing. And they giving it all they got. they got a fight coming up, a big fight coming up. So they're not here to play or mess around. They going hard, and if you can't survive, they will send you home.
Jermarcus Polain, appreciate you coming on, talking to pro boxing fans, giving us some of your time and an insight into this Dillian Whyte's camp. Tell the UK fans how we follow you on your social media.
First of all, thank you for the opportunity. It's a real pleasure. You can follow me on Instagram at Polain, POLAIN _JY, the letters JY. So that's Polain _JY. That's my Instagram. And on Facebook, if that's a thing, it's my name, simply Jermarcus Polain. And those are the two main sources of social media that I operate off of.
Great stuff. Well, Jermarcus, I'm sure we'll catch up again. I'm sure it's not the last time we'll see you on
right.
Helping out the UK guys, and hopefully we'll see you in the UK sometime soon fighting, and then we'll catch up.
It'll be a pleasure. It'll be a real pleasure being over there, man. I can't wait. Looking forward to it.
Great stuff. Well, safe trip back to the US tomorrow, and speak soon. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Take care. Have a good one.